Hey guys, my name is Michael Pruitt. I'm a certified information systems security professional. I currently serve the role of Chief Information Security Officer for several different organizations. And today we're going to be discussing specifically the path to becoming an ethical hacker. Skills, steps, and strategies that you can use to secure that role at an organization. Now, I try to go above and beyond and kind of make these things a little bit more transparent. This does have a PowerPoint. I'm not going to read directly from it, though I will outline it and give my personal experience based on what is currently on the slide, but this will be a good drift for us. So first things first, obviously introduction, right? Uh, I'll let you read the slide, but essentially what we're coming to is every day you see more and more in the news about cybersecurity attacks. Organizations are at a great disadvantage when it comes to having quality employees that know what they're doing. So finding a role as an ethical hacker could be very beneficial to you. Obviously, it'll pay excellent dividends to the actual organizations that hire you because they're going to be able to, protect against malicious hacking attempts. So we're going to specifically discuss how you can become an ethical hacker and what that involves, from acquiring necessary skills, getting certifications that actually make sense and actually hold weight, and then of course what it takes to actually secure employment in the field. First things first, you have to secure a strong foundation in computer science or networking or programming. What do I mean by that? In order to be a quality ethical hacker, you have to understand how systems work. Having a strong foundation in computer science gives you a strong foundational knowledge base of how computer systems, servers, networks, etc. work. I usually say that some of the best ethical hackers are either programmers or network engineers, and that's because they have to think through the process, right? They know how applications work, therefore they can know how to take advantage of them to see if they're vulnerable. Network engineers know how networks work, so they know the possible limitations from a security standpoint that a network may or may not have. And what that'll do is that'll pay excellent dividends as far as being able to apply your knowledge and hone your craft, and in turn protect the organization that you work for. One skill set that pays dividends almost immediately whenever you're becoming an ethical hacker is learning various programming languages. If you're using Python, you can script up just about anything and be able to make yourself scale, if you will. You can really put yourself in position to do a lot more with less, especially with tight budgets. JavaScript and C, or C++ for that matter, are also very good to know. Obviously, if you're doing any kind of DevSecOps and you're doing ethical hacker or code review on programs that are being developed, having a foundational knowledge of programming is going to make you that much better at your job. But more importantly, it's going to help you create tools or scripts and use cases that can make your life easier. You need to have a deep understanding of operating systems. Knowing hardware is one thing. Knowing, how a network works is another. But if you're able to put together how the operating system of whatever device you're using facilitates, functionality, you'll be able to know, one, how to take advantage of it, but even more importantly, you'll know how to protect it from being taken advantage of. For instance, I'm pretty big in Fortinet stuff. FortiOS has its vulnerabilities. It has its gotchas whenever it comes to security, which is interesting considering they're a security firm. But because of my knowledge of that operating system, I know how to mitigate those threats to help make sure that my security posture is tight and my attack surface is small. Understanding the operating system of any device, especially if it exists on your network, is going to make your life that much better. It's going to make it that much easier. And your organization will appreciate that. Obviously, to become an ethical hacker, you need to acquire ethical hacking skills. Some of you may ask, well, what are those skills? Well, here's a subset here. You have to be able to know and understand what's going on during a vulnerability scanning process. You need to be able to do penetration testing. More importantly, you need to know the difference between vulnerability scanning and penetration testing because they're not the same. You need to understand how to manipulate people because people are always going to be the weakest link. You know how many times someone has been able to compromise an environment just by walking in and sweet talking the front desk lady? You'd be surprised. Being able to call someone on the phone and make them believe that you are who you say you are usually gets you keys to the kingdom. So social engineering is going to be very important as an ethical hacker. More importantly, your ability to reverse engineer things, find out what makes them tick, and find out how you can exploit them, it's going to make your life awesome when it comes to doing this. I don't usually harp very much on, cybersecurity certifications. The only one that I currently have and maintain is my CISSP. I used to have my certified ethical hacker, which is not a bad cert to have. The certified ethical hacker is very heavily focused on Nmap and the basic functionalities that you would use as an ethical hacker, so it'll pay dividends. Same with the CompTIA Security Plus. It's going to give you an awesome, non-vendor specific, very agnostic to different companies and tools, but it'll give you the foundational knowledge to understand what's going on. And then, of course, the Offensive Security Certified Professional, that's going to give you more of the mindset and the ability to really be an offensive or a red team guy. The reason why I don't harp too much on certifications is because these days it seems like everyone's just a paper cert guy. What do I mean by that? That means these folks just basically got a copy of the test, memorized the answers, and then went and passed it with relative ease, right? Having a certification doesn't guarantee that the applicant is able to do the job, but it will at least check boxes for HR, so they're worth having. I can't stress this enough. You have to be able to gain practical professional experience. You can get this hands-on experience by doing things like participation in capture the flag events or competitions. You can contribute to open source security projects, or you could just work on your own individual projects. You can stand up servers within your environment and compromise them. You can focus on hacking them. Please note, you need to gain ethical experience. If you're trying to compromise boxes that don't belong to you, you could go to jail. Not to mention get a pretty bad reputation. The reason why this is important is obviously you want to be able to apply what you know. Just because you can pass the test doesn't mean you would be good at this role. So having practical experience that proves that you're able to put pen to paper, boot to butt, lets them know that you actually know what you're talking about. If you've watched any of our videos, you have most certainly heard me say it's not always what you know, but who you know. You need to break out of your shell and stay current with people, both on a social level, because having good quality relationships across multiple organizations will end up getting you hired more times than I care to admit. In fact, most roles that I get, I don't apply for. Folks headhunt me based on their knowledge and experience with me. So always network with people, especially professionals in the same field. But more importantly, always stay up to date on your craft. The more experienced and the more current you are, the more you're going to be able to be agile and fluid whenever it comes to protecting your organization. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. As an ethical hacker, you have to stay committed to ethical practices. There are countless jobs out there for cybersecurity individuals. Just like there are quality roles at major organizations, there's quality roles at bad organizations. You will be headhunted by people, both white hat and black hat, to execute because they want more people just as much as the good guys do. Make sure you focus on ethical practices. It's not worth going to jail, and it's not worth getting arrested and having to have all that reputational backlash. Stick to what's right, protect organizations, and you're in the clear. You always need to be seeking employment or freelance opportunities. You need to do this once you've already got the skills, the certifications, and experience, but more so to help build your resume. You always want to be building your resume. The more experience you get, the better at your craft you're going to be. The better at your craft you are, the higher you can charge per hour to clients and or businesses. And obviously it puts you in a position to really, set your standards as far as employment goes. A lot of organizations will actually hire folks on contract for specific use cases just to meet their needs from a regulatory compliance standpoint. So you can make a good deal of money on short-term contracts and not be tied down to the same thing every day. So in conclusion, being an ethical hacker, it's not a heavy lift, but it will take a good amount of dedication. You have to love what you do in order to really enjoy it and stay in it long term. If you follow what we've outlined in this video, you're going to be in position to really be successful at this. We're expecting 3.5 million shortages of cybersecurity folks in general by 2025. So getting a head start now, getting the knowledge, getting the experience, getting the certifications, building the relationships, it's going to put you in position to have a successful career. And more importantly, it's going to help you experience financial freedom and the ability to pick and choose the roles that you want to be in.